Okay, so we're going to talk about forking a gem. Do we have any Rubyists in the house tonight? Yeah? Right? Okay. Yeah. And just real quick, who are the junior developers in the room? Yeah? Mid-level? All right. We've got some senior folks, too. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully this leans a little more junior, mid-level. I think sometimes tech talks can be a little overwhelming, and this is a cool kind of like intro here. So this started with a little personal project of mine, a little expense tracker I was working on, and I started to gather a bunch of data, and I was really excited about making some cool charts. So I found Chart.js, which is a pretty sweet little JavaScript library for making charts, and so I made some cool charts. Check it out. So, you know, like weekly expenses up there. It does all kinds of stuff for you. As you can see, bar graphs, pie charts. It's really fun. But I knew that I wanted more colors in here. I didn't like just the single color thing, and I needed to find some way of kind of passing in a collection of colors, and I needed some sort of color like manipulation tool of some sort. So I started poking around, and I found Chroma, which is a pretty cool color manipulation gem. You give it a starting color, and you can say darken it or lighten it. You can ask for complementary colors. You can give it a single color and get a triad. The thing I was most excited about was the palettes. And so, as you can see here, you can give it a color and say you want an analogous palette, and it'll find, you know, 6 colors that are kind of in the same family. And then there's also the monochromatic ones down there, and that will just give you, you know, from the color to black, in theory. So I got the gem installed, put in a couple lines of code, and then I got some cooler charts. Check it out. Yeah, monochromatic up top and analogous on the left there. But as you can see, something looks kind of funny there. I thought maybe I was goofing or I made a bug, or I like wrote the code wrong. I wasn't totally sure, but like, what's going on right here? So at the top, those are different colors. So it looks like maybe it should be oriented a little differently, like the starting color, and then it's kind of swapped weird. In the pie chart, those are the same color. So I don't know what's going on right there, but something was up. So when I looked back here, now this is actually the documentation from the website. This is just a screenshot right here. So if we look at one of the monochromatic ones, the one in the middle there on the bottom section, you can see that even in the documentation, something funky is going on. Now, maybe this is how it's supposed to be. Maybe this is how you're supposed to use this. I'm not totally sure. But it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, which was I give it a color, and then it gradates down to black, or maybe vice versa. Maybe I could sort it the other way, like something like that, or maybe like that. So I thought, I have found a bug. I can submit an issue now. This will be fun. So I went back to the Chroma page on GitHub, and I submitted a bug. Now, a quick little plug here for y'all. As you can see, I started out kind and thankful. This is open source. This is just like one person just doing it for the fun of it. And if you start out with, your code is terrible, you're the worst, you know, like, who knows how much time this person put into this gem. So, kind and thankful. If you don't learn anything else from this talk, kind and thankful. So I wrote it all out, and I described, there's more. I cut it off at the bottom there. You can see the link on the bottom if you really want to go dig in on that issue. So the problem was I needed to dig into this gem and try to figure out what was wrong. Like, who knows when I'm going to get a response back on this issue that I posted on GitHub? Who knows? And so I started asking some friends, some other old coworkers of mine. And one of the things they recommended was that you can bundle your gems into your repo. So they don't go into just like some, you know, magic land where Ruby gems are stored normally. Not really sure where that is, but like this is something I can deal with because I can start putting in, you know, like a pry somewhere into that method. So, there's that gem. It's all the way down in there in my repo, and now I can make changes to it, and those changes will be reflected immediately when I refresh. So I started digging around in the code, and I found this method here, monochromatic. You can see it allows you to pass in a size option, which is pretty cool. So you can give it any number of bars in a bar graph or any number of slices in a pie chart. And it takes the size and creates some sort of coefficient or something it uses. Who knows what's happening here? But it returns a palette array that size times map is looping through the number of times the size and making an array of all this stuff. So, and it does some formatting there at the end. So I put a pry in there. You can see up at the top. And I put a bunch of pries in there. I was kind of poking around, seeing what was going on. And this at color, see that at color up there? That's the color you start with. And so I knew I needed to use that somehow. And here's the diff. Here's what I came up with. So it's a little hacktashious, but I instead take the palette array and just put it off by itself, just so I can manually put things into it if I want to. Then I'm setting the color to just a local variable right there. And then I'm adding each color to the palette unless it's the start color. And at the very end, I'm adding the start color. And then I threw another option to reverse the direction just for the heck of it. So here's kind of what I was after. So the first color, at color, just kind of holds off on its own for a second. You build up the array like normal, and tack it on at the end. So here's my final method. And this is literally all I did. I didn't write any tests. I didn't submit a PR. I could have, but I got no response from the creator of the gem. So if I'd gotten some back and forth, maybe it's oh yeah, let's work on this and we'll figure it out and I'll submit a PR. This will be cool. But I got nothing back. So then it was time to fork a gem. I know, right? So there's that fork button up there on GitHub. Who's ever clicked the fork button before? Yeah. Pretty fun. It brings up some things and it's where do you want to fork this to? And then it has a cool, what's that, a scanner, There's a there's some food in there or something. That's pretty good. So here's my fork. So then I went back into my my terminal. Now that I had my own version of this gem, I cloned it locally, pasted in those changes that I had made, and then pushed those up. Then I went into my gem file, changed my gem to my version of the Chroma gem, and then I updated that gem, and you can see it says it's using my version of it now. Ta-da! So that first one there is basically the same as from the docs. It's just a size, and I want to return hex values. The bottom one is using my cool new sort method. So I'm descending instead of ascending. So what next? Yeah, I could write some tests. I could submit a PR. Who knows? But right now it's working, and this is just a fun little personal project, so I'm going to consider it a success. Thank you, everybody.